In this video, I'm going to try to introduce you to the Canvas user interface. First thing, you'll notice there's a large area in the middle called the dashboard. There's an area on the left called the global navigation, and an area on the right, not an original name, but it's called the sidebar. Let's talk about the dashboard first. The dashboard is an area where it shows all your classes that you're currently enrolled in your favorite courses, on their own individual card. Each card can be slightly modified by going to this icon right here and clicking Settings. For example, I don't like the color of this card and I don't like the name. So I click on that. I can change, I'm not actually changing the name of the class, but I'm giving it a nickname, something I'll remember it by better. It'll also reorganize it alphabetically in a list. So if all my courses are beginning with the word Canvas, I don't necessarily want that. I can also change that obnoxious color to something a little more relaxing. There we go. At the bottom of each card, you'll also notice that there are sometimes some buttons. These include, and if you hover your mouse over them, you'll see course assignments, course announcements, course discussions, and course files. Each of those will link to its own individual page where you can view those announcements, assignments, discussions, or files. And so it's just a shortcut for each class and a nice way to get there. One last thing is there's also a recent activity feed view. If you click this right here, it toggles that over. And if there's any activity, anything happening or going on in any of your courses, it will show up here. I generally don't use that view a lot because I like to go right into a course and then it shows me the recent activity. But if you want to see the activity for all your courses, you can toggle that switch. So let's talk about the global navigation for a minute. If ever you get lost in Canvas and you don't know where you are, it's fine. You can always click on this symbol right here or the dashboard symbol and it will always bring you back to the dashboard. So either one gets you to the same place. This first one right here is your account setting. You can manage your profile settings, other settings, for example, linking your Canvas account to Google Docs or something like that. You can also manage notifications. You can organize and download, upload files, and you can work on e-portfolios. We'll talk about all these later. You can close this sliding out sidebar from the global navigation by clicking the X or just clicking the icon that you originally clicked in the first place. This next icon you most likely won't have access to. The dashboard, as I said, will always get you back here. Courses will slide out all the courses that currently show on your dashboard. Now, if there's a course that you're involved in and you don't see that on the list, you can go to all courses and you can change, basically this top menu part is your favorites list. You can change what's on your favorites. We do that by clicking here on all courses. And it shows us all the courses we've ever been enrolled in. And the ones with the star highlighted next to them are on my dashboard currently. So let's say I want this civics class listed. And let's say I want this game course test listed. I can click on that star, and now when I go to my dashboard, game course test, and civics Harrison right there. I can also get rid of them the same way. Courses, all courses, and simply click on the star and it will remove them from your dashboard. The next one down is the calendar. I'm not going to go into that right now, but it's basically an overall calendar for all your classes and it shows when things are due and when assignments are and relevant activities are coming up. The next one is your inbox. This is basically email in Canvas terms. They refer to them as conversations, but you can think of it like email. So if a student has a question for you, oftentimes it will come through your inbox and a little notification will show up, and there you go. The commons We're not going to get into that right now, but the Commons is basically an online repository of all the Canvas information people have created and decided to share. So if you create a really neat course and you want to share it with everyone, you post it in the Commons. If you create a really neat course and you want to share it with just one person, you post it in the Commons, but you set accessibility options to private, and then you can share it directly with that person. The last one, way down here, oftentimes neglected, is the help menu. This is extremely helpful. You can ask your instructor a question. You can search the Canvas guides. These are detailed guides that walk you through pretty much every step of Canvas. They're a little overwhelming at first. That's why I'm trying to help you through this part. You can report a problem, ask the community, or submit a feature idea. Close it by clicking on the X, and you're back to the main dashboard view. Let's go over to the right side and look at the sidebar. The sidebar changes depending on what you're doing, but from this main dashboard view, you'll have the ability to start a new course or view grades. It's really nice. It's a quick link to get right into grades or create a new course of your own. Also, it will show you things that are coming up, if there's anything, and it'll also show you recent feedback, if there's anything there. So let's go into a course, and I'll show you how the sidebar changes a little bit. You'll notice now, from within the course, the sidebar now has some different options here. And that just shows you how this right sidebar becomes dynamic for the things that you want. Also, you'll notice that a new menu has popped out over here. This is a fairly global menu for this course. And we'll talk more about those settings in a little bit. But you can always hide that by clicking on this 3-line menu button. So there you go. Also, I want to talk about this up here. This is called breadcrumb navigation. If you're not familiar with breadcrumb navigation, let me just show you. Let's go to a different page. And you'll notice that in this course called Canvas Teacher, I'm now on Pages. And you can use this depending on how deep you go into each course. You can always click on one of these to get back to that specific page. It's kind of, the story of Hansel and Gretel. They've just called it the breadcrumb trail so that you can see where you've been and how that fits on the web page. And this part right here in the middle is no longer called the dashboard. This is now called the content area. And that pretty much is an overview of the user interface within Canvas.